Tina, I was watching some old cartoons the other day, and I stumbled upon Popeye. Man, that brought back some memories.
Ah, Popeye. That's a classic. But do you know the history behind the character?
Not much, to be honest. I know he loves spinach and has super strength, but that's about it. Enlighten me, my friend.
Well, let me take you on a journey through time. Popeye's story begins in the early 1920s. He was created by Elsie Chrysler Seeger, a talented cartoonist.
The 1920s? That's nearly a century ago.
Yes, indeed. Popeye made his debut in a comic strip called Thimble Theater in 1929. Interestingly, Popeye wasn't the main character initially. He was a supporting character who eventually stole the show.
Really? Who was the main character then?
Olive Oyl, actually. She was a lanky, somewhat clumsy woman who often found herself in ridiculous situations. One day, her brother Castor Oil and his friend, Ham Gravy, went on a quest for treasure and decided to take Olive along. They hired Popeye, a rough and tough sailor, as their boatman.
And I bet things got interesting from there.
You have no idea. Popeye's character quickly gained popularity because of his distinct personality and catchphrases. His love for spinach, which granted him superhuman strength, became a defining trait.
Spinach, huh? That's quite unique. So, what happened next?
Well, as Popeye's popularity soared, he started getting more and more screen time in the comic strip. Eventually, the strip was renamed Popeye in 1931, and he became the central character.
That's a fascinating evolution. But tell me more about Popeye's personality. What made him so beloved?
Popeye had a strong moral code. He was kind-hearted and always stood up for the underdog. He had a distinctive way of speaking, with his famous lines like "I am what I am and that's all I can stands, and I can't stands no more." He was also known for his humorous battles with the brutish Bluto over Olive's affections.
Those catchphrases and the love triangle must have been quite entertaining for readers.
Absolutely. It added depth to the characters and made the strip engaging. And the comic strip wasn't just humor, it often delved into social and political issues of the time, making it even more relevant.
It's amazing how a simple comic strip can have such a profound impact on society.
Indeed. Popeye became a cultural icon during the Great Depression. People saw in him a symbol of resilience and strength during tough times.
I can see how he would resonate with people during that era. But what about his transition to other media?
Well, in the 1930s, Popeye made his way to the silver screen in a series of animated short films produced by Fleischer Studios. These cartoons were hugely successful, and they introduced Popeye to a wider audience.
I remember watching those cartoons as a kid. They were a riot.
They sure were. And in 1933, Popeye made his feature film debut in Popeye the Sailor, where he was brought to life through a mix of live action and animation. Max Fleischer provided the voice for Popeye himself.
That must have been groundbreaking at the time.
It was. The film was a hit, and Popeye's popularity continued to soar. He even became the mascot for a brand of spinach.
Talk about effective marketing.
Indeed. The Spinach Company was thrilled with the boost in sales.
So, Popeye had conquered comics, cartoons, and even movies. What happened next?
As time went on, Popeye continued to evolve. In the 1960s, he returned to television with The Popeye Show, which featured both old and new Popeye cartoons. Then, in the late 70s and early 80s, he had a resurgence in popularity with the all-new Popeye Hour and Popeye and Son.
I remember watching those shows too. Popeye was a big part of my childhood.
He was for many of us. And let's not forget the 1980 live-action Popeye movie starring Robin Williams as the titular character.
That was a unique take on the character.
Absolutely. While it had mixed reviews, it added another layer to Popeye's legacy.
So, Tina, what's Popeye up to these days?
Well, Popeye is still beloved by fans worldwide. His comics and cartoons are still enjoyed by new generations, and he's made appearances in video games and various merchandise. He's an enduring symbol of strength, resilience, and doing what's right.
Here's to Popeye, the Sailor Man. Thanks for sharing this fascinating history, Tina.
To Popeye. May he continue to sail the seas of popular culture for generations to come.